How's everybody? It was good to see everybody in Chicago. Hopefully, you made it all back. And what do we got here?
Look how nicely Johnson & Johnson follows the pitchfork. Every time it honors those support and resistance levels, it just, gives your pitchfork the credence and the credit it deserves, right? Right now, it popped up over after that nice rally after earnings. Actually, earnings, it pulled back and then rallied. It's now flirting with the support resistance level where it's trading right now, 159. This could turn into a bull flag, or this could be a change in trend. We need more evidence. Most likely looks like it may bull flag here.
So where do you see that like the top could be of the pitchfork, since it has such a canny way of just kind of meandering around that?
Well, these previous highs here are going to be resistance first, 162.68. And then from there, the pitchfork comes in right around 166.
So one interesting piece, Alicia, that I'm kind of noticing on the bottom end, is this last time it never touched the first line down and then took off, hitting support, but
The
not
median
actually
line
touching
here?
the line. No, on the low, like right before that,
Oh, here?
Yeah. So I thought that area was kind of interesting. It did rally off that, and then
There was a lot of consolidation.
Yeah, a lot of consolidation. I'm wondering if you're gonna end up with a different pitchfork here in a few months.
Is that was that kind of the low from the baby powder episode?
Yes.
That's more recent. This is just July.
I mean, this is more recent, but that was matching some of those baby powder lows.
Oh, over
okay.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah. November 23.
Yeah. But, at 145, the JNJ is a buy pretty consistently.
You can actually put that trend line in there.
It's down today.
Yeah, it's retesting the line, but my guess is we got a couple of days consolidation and then it's going to pop. This rotation that we've been talking about, between Dow and S&P and the Qs, I'm not convinced that it's over. We're getting kind of a weird one today with McDonald's up and semiconductor. The 10% haircut in the triple Qs might be enough to reset expectations out of these earnings. Like they've already kneecapped a lot of the major names, which now gives them room to retest highs, which I think is kind of interesting.
Real quick, I thought McDonald's was down on their earnings.
Their earnings were down, but
it's recovering.
Stock is up
nicely.
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had some metrics that I think were somewhat positive.
Well, it's down for the year quite a bit.
Yes.
So Johnson & Johnson, if we get back to that, it's back to a, I have to say, after the earnings, it's moving. Huh?
Scott's being too loud.
Sorry. Just hit him with a newspaper or something. Throw some trading cards at him. I'm just saying Johnson & Johnson is moving a lot more, I feel, than it should post earnings.
Yeah. Yeah, and the volatility is reflecting that. So in the last 20 days, Johnson & Johnson has moved at a realized volatility almost 20%. And over the last 10 days, that realized volatility has been about 26%. Folks, just to kind of put things in perspective, that is historically really high. Outside of a couple other facets over the last year, we just haven't seen that kind of movement out of JNJ. The implied is around 16, relatively normal for a JNJ. When VIX is low enough that you'll see JNJ get into toward 10 for an implied volatility. But the movement to realized level is to implied level is inexpensive. Fundamentally, it is getting some PE expansion, but part of the reason for that is that, on a trailing 12-month, you still have a lot of the drug issues, things like that. They're just coming out of that and just starting to really make money again after the spinoff. So I expect that PE, even with the rally that we've got here, to probably go up. I like the bull case here. And with realized outplacing implied, and implied still relatively low, Andrew. And then knowing that we're at Leisha's major kind of fun pitchfork level, I think that there's a relatively simple trade here. But I would invite your volatility analysis after kind of my throw out there.
All right, I can let's take a look here. So I will share my screen.
And can we just briefly talk about the fact that if you're looking at Leisha's charts and saying, I don't understand what I'm looking at, or I don't get it, we do have a solution for you. You can join Leisha's masterclass, and she'll walk you through everything we just walked through. I didn't know what I was looking at 6 months ago when Leisha started whipping out pitchforks, or a year ago. And now I feel like the pitchfork prince, if you will.
The Prince of Pitchforks, or just the Pitchfork Prince?
The pitchfork prince. My queen shows me the pitchfork, but at least I can understand what she's doing.
So this is your...
I'm like, oh, mommy has shown me a very excellent pitchfork.
So I would say...
So, one, you won't hear me do a British accent, but two, you will get to hear Leisha's beautiful Chicago accent as she is walking you through things like, how she reads Japanese candlesticks and uses these pitchforks. And she's going to give you some risk management tips as well. So the link is above us in the chat. So if you haven't joined yet, make sure you join. If you're a member of Profits and Pumps, or Option Shopper, we still have a great discounted rate for you to join the masterclass. Give my team a call, 888-872-3301, and you can join. So, Andrew, what do you got here?
Well, I think you've got a lot of moves, and then you got, let's see here, from 10-day vol, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this earnings spike is still in the vol, in the 10-day volatility. Obviously, it's like a year high. So, but like all this post earnings action is kind of...
I mean, the post earning action was more than the earnings action.
Yeah, and it doesn't really, like, and now we're down 1% today. It was up. I mean, you're still seeing like quite a bit of activity. So implied volatility is not as low as I would like to buy it. Obviously, the fact that the volatility gets to 11% is pretty unbelievable. So we're kind of at the higher end of the range here. So I would think, like, you definitely want to own something. You want to ride this, like you want to. So generally, when you have like really spiky, realized volatility, like you get, a week, 2 weeks of this kind of action. Again, with how the market is moving in general right now, I think we have a lot of very spiky action everywhere because we got big tech earnings. We've got the Fed. Johnson and Johnson is kind of a big cap stock. It could get swept either way, I think, pretty easily. Although you're not getting your implied vols as low as you would like it to be a buyer. They're, I would say they're not super cheap. So I wouldn't go like too far out. I wouldn't go too far out in the duration. I would keep the duration less. So generally, like the higher the volatility is, like the move is this week. So,
Yeah.
we're not talking about like making an investment. Like, that would be, I think, a different story. Like you could even, like buy right some September calls or something if you wanted to add JNJ to your portfolio.
I was thinking just, with where it is on support, on Leash's candles, with where the vol is, with where the movement that it's been getting, I think you can just go with some short dated calls.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at like a little strangly action. Like you did get the 62.55 is strangle is 280, 270. Like the 62 and a half or $1.50. And what was the recent high on the stock? 161. I don't think these are too bad. You
I
could
was
go
looking at the
in
August regular.
the 62 and a half are like 118.
Yeah. I was looking at
Um,
just the regular 160 puts for 210.
the one in August 16.
Or 160 calls, excuse me. Did I say puts? I meant calls.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I if I like the fact that these some of these other options are like less than $1, but
Yeah, they're cheap.
I could see buying, any of these calls, but have some kind of a stop here in case it starts to challenge some of these lower levels. Like I said, the market could be swept up this week, and JND could be swept up with everything else. That's how I would look at this. I'm curious to see what any roomies think about this idea, but so I would look at it like so Mark likes so buying like a one. Whoopsie here. So you're buying like one JNJ August 16. What do you like the 160 calls for $2.10? If you wanted a little more hedge trade, you would buy one JNJ August 16. Again, it depends on if you want how active you want to run your stop call. And one, I think here, because I think 155 was low. I don't think we get down there. I would like to lean long, and I would sort of light this up if, let's say, we get past to, I don't know if Alicia gives me a level that it kind of breaks down. I'd want to buy a put, or you stop your call, either one. But generally, I just buy the put at the beginning just because I get busy and I forget. So, put, and that is for. Let's see here. So we're doing like, let's say you're paying 90 and 110 is about $2.
Yeah.
So you're for $2 total.
I mean, I'm probably just going to buy the straight call.
Okay.
Personally.
Oops.
But I like both. I'm going to.
I as much as I like just buying calls, if I don't have a stop in them, then it makes me grumpy if they go down.
Yes. So. Today, if you're wondering like, is there any order flow? You got buyers of the 165 calls for a week from Friday, which I thought was kind of interesting. You also have some August 30th buyers.
I could see the diagonal is not a bad idea. Surf dancing Hogan or William. I don't think the diagonal call would be bad. Like the sell the 60s and then maybe the 62 and a half this week. You could see that as a possibility. These 60s for 2 and then sell these 62 and a half for 129. That's not a bad diagonal either. If you wanted to trade that way.
All right.
See that. But so anyway, these are roughly, Mark's trade is going to be long 50 deltas. So basically, for every dollar move, you're making 50 cents on the call. And my trade here is going to be around 8 deltas, I believe. But let me get you a real delta here.
All right. Well, folks, there you have it. That's the Ticker Highlight Show for this week. I would remind you one more time that, this is your opportunity to join Leisha's masterclass today. We are closing up shop on selling this today. And, 8 weeks, lots of learning, year of Option Shopper included, special discount for already members of Option Shopper. I would encourage you to join because, learning and educating yourself is the best way to become better at it. And Leisha, more so than I, can teach you skills that you will apply not just to your option trading, but your stock trading and futures trading and every aspect of your active trader lifestyle and really passive trader. We're going to be using her approach with pitchforks to actually time some more entries on our long-term investment portfolio and exits. So this is a skill that you can apply to every facet of your trading and investment style. So once again, click the link above, click the link below, and if you're already a option shopper, give Ted a call, 888-872-3301, and he will take very, very good care of you.
Oh, what time is
you were going to
today,
say
Mark?
life skills, Mark.
What? Life skills?
I thought you were going to go not only trading, but life skills. So I was like, oh no.
Life skills. All right. If you want to learn about work ethic, Leisha's a good person to talk to. Sit your 22-year-old in front of the screen and let Leisha talk to them for 15 minutes.
Hey,
They'll be out of your house in 3 months.
What time is class today, you two? What time is class?
1 Eastern.
1
Eastern.
Yes. That's going to be our next master class is Leisha talks to your 23-year-old that you want out of your house. And then they're out of the house. They'll be out of the house in 6 months. I guarantee it. All right. So, folks, for Andrew T. Giovinazzi, the Viking of Volatility, and Leisha J. Leslie, Queen of the Candles, the matriarch of the masterclass, I am Mark Sebastian. I am your only option. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful trading week. Talk to you soon.
Adios, everybody.